Hi, my name is Jessica Dunn, and today I'm going to talk about my company, CERT Logistics Incorporated, which is a flatbed overdimensional transportation company headquartered in Central California. And first I wanted to start by talking about Klöckner Metals, which is one of our key customers located in Tulare, California. They are a steel manufacturer who very frequently requires overdimensional transportation of their steel. And one of the key points with Klöckner Metals, key pain point, is that when they need this transportation, they need it immediately. And there are many steps involved with transporting an overdimensional load. It requires permits, and actually could require a different permit in every state that the load is transported in. In addition, there's a lot of coordination. Sometimes there's restrictions on the time of day that a load can be transported. So CERT Logistics really specializes in this, and we have the experience that really allows us to help our customer and kind of handle everything for them to where they don't need to worry whether their load is going to be transported in time or safely. We take care of all of that for them. So CERT Logistics Incorporated, again, overdimensional flatbed transportation. We have two key customers. Our primary customer, of course, is, in the example, Klöckner Metals, which is a steel manufacturing company. So manufacturers of various commodities. But our second customer is the broker. And because we frequently work with freight brokers to link us to our customers, eventually our goal is to develop those relationships with the customers so we can go direct, which is a relationship that we have with Klöckner Metals now. But it really cuts out a lot of the costs if you're not going with a freight broker, because of course, you have to pay the freight broker for that link. So safe, efficient, reliable transportation, that's what CERT stands for. In customer surveys that we've done in the last year, we have really found that those are the three key characteristics of a transportation company that the customers look for, especially the freight brokers. They want to know that their freight is going to be transported safely, efficiently, and reliably. So that is our name, so we can remember that and keep that as our front and center. Remind us every day that that's what our goals are. Industry analysis. So the trucking industry, transportation industry, is a huge industry, $175.3 billion industry. Keeping in mind, this is not just flatbed transportation. This is, includes refrigerated transport, the box trailers, legal load, flatbed freight, and any other transportation that you can think of is included in these numbers. So 5.4% profit margins, 3.6% growth rate, no major players, 90% owner-operator run companies. So again, this is not specific to flatbed, but 90% owner-operator, meaning that these are drivers who basically own and operate their own equipment. They work with likely freight brokers to find the customers for them. These owner-operators tend to go with legal loads because of the administrative time involved with overdimensional freight. So in performing a Porter's Five Forces analysis, first is the competitive rivalry. So competitive rivalry is pretty low in our industry because there's not a lot of companies offering the same over-dimensional flatbed transportation service. Although, there are a lot of competitors just through owner-operators, but they tend to, like I said, go with legal loads because of the administrative time involved with over-dimensional. Threat of new entrants is high, although it's a bit lower with flatbed because of the specialized knowledge needed to be a flatbed driver. Bargaining power of suppliers is not high. We have a lot of options when it comes to mechanics, gas stations, tire stores. So we have a lot of options. Bargaining power of customers. This can vary depending on where you are in the country. For example, if, let's say, we have a load that just delivered to Colorado, and maybe there was a lot of freight in demand to be transported to Colorado, but there may not be as high of a demand coming out of Colorado, so there could be a lot of competition in that one area, and the customer may have a lot of power in negotiating a lower rate that they're going to pay for the load. So it kind of depends on where you are. We try to be aware of that when we are finding loads. We try to be aware of where the load's going and whether we think we'll have difficulty in coming out of that location. The threat of substitutes is there are no substitutes, because if you're needing an over-dimensional load transported, really the only form of transportation you can use is a flatbed. Competitors. So 4 of our kind of key competitors: Combined Transport, Central Oregon Truck Company, Smoky Point Distributing, and TJ Potter Trucking. They do a lot of over-dimensional freight. They also do legal loads as well. So low switching costs and low barriers to entry. Just talked about this a little bit. So the low switching costs, customer, if they find that Combined Transport is offering a load for a lower price, they may go with Combined Transport and there is no cost to the customer. The last 3: safety score, flexibility, and price of service. So these are 3 of the key characteristics that a customer is looking for in a trucking company. So of course, safety, which is regulated by the government, the safety score, flexibility, and the price of service. So flexibility, they're looking for a company to be able to transport anything they need. Price of service, we offer, which is typical with the other trucking companies, is to offer value-based service. And again, it kind of depends on the area that you're in and whether there's a high demand for moving a load, or if there's not as high demand, then of course your the price that you might accept might be a little bit lower. So our target market is, kind of talked about this a little bit, is the steel manufacturers, for example, or manufacturer of any type of commodity that needs to be moved on a flatbed trailer. And also aerospace equipment. So there's just, it varies the target customer. So we performed a survey on our various customers to find, basically what we found through this survey is that a lot of the customers, which are the brokers, book loads through online load boards. They value relationships developed on prior loads. They will look at a company's website to determine whether it's a reliable company, they would like to provide input on a customer satisfaction survey. So we found various answers, or kind of based on our survey results, found that this is how we kind of modeled the business. So with marketing and sales, so I noted here customer and employee marketing because we not only have our customers, the manufacturers and the freight brokers, but also it's really important that we market to our employees because of there's actually the average age of a truck driver is 55 years old. So this industry is, the employees in the industry are aging, and there's not as many people young people wanting to go into become a truck driver. And so our marketing will focus on both for our customers and for our employees, trying to recruit employees. And we'll do this through marketing to our customers through online load boards, through our website, social media, and also networking with customers to develop relationships and hopefully collaborate on future loads. And then with employees, really working with recruiting companies to find drivers and identify what they're wanting in their employer so that we can continue to evolve and become a top trucking company to work for. So here's our current team. Patrick R. Dunn is our CEO, President, and COO, and Patrick has owned and operated Dunn Transport for 6 years. During his time there, he increased revenue per truck by 25% by streamlining the dispatching process and improving efficiencies in the operation of the trucks. And Patrick owns 40% of CERT Logistics. Jessica Dunn is me, and I am the CFO and the Chief People Officer. I have 5 years of management experience in the medical billing field, and through that I increased revenue by 35% by improving morale in my department and developing straightforward workflows and processes for staff. And I also own 40% of the shares of CERT Logistics. Management structure: strong believers in recognition and positive motivation. Here's our structure for the first year. So actually during the first year I will act as the dispatcher, hoping to hire a dispatcher to fill that position, in the second year. Operations: our ideal hub is 5 acres, 1,000 square foot office building. Here's an example of what that might look like. So we want a lot of space so that we can grow into our location. In the meantime, we will lease out the extra space. And location, hoping to have a space located near mechanics and other suppliers that we use. Projections and milestones: so May, anticipating contribution from investors, all the way through March 31st, 2021, reaching yearly sales of $2.5 million. And at that point, we plan on selling the business, which leads to the next. So the investment, the total dollar amount we are seeking is $200,000 in equity financing. And here's kind of how we will use those funds.